RigRight by Axletrac, a complete alignment system for Class 8 hub-piloted trucks. Thrust, scrub, tow, camber, and caster, with no alignment rack required. This video walks you through the procedure step by step. Step 1. Vehicle preparation. Before any measurement, the truss must be properly positioned and the suspension fully settled with ride height set and tires inflated. Rushing this step produces inaccurate results. See detailed instructions in our instruction manual. Before you pick up a tool, inspect your suspension and steering, torque rod bushings, hanger brackets, tie rods, kingpins. Any worn or damaged component gets repaired before you align the truck. Aligning a truck with bad parts is a waste of everyone's time. Step 2. Axle end extender installation. Install one end extender assembly on each of the 4 hubs of the tandem drive axles, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. On each hub, find the studs at the 12 and 6 o'clock positions. Thread the 12-inch extension tube onto each, hand tight, then back off a quarter turn. Slide the lubricated span bar into both tubes and tighten snug. The assembly self-centers to the hub. It gives you a rigid, accurate reference point at the center of the axle, out beyond the tire. You don't need to remove the hubcap, the inflation system, or the hub odometer. Minor rim damage or irregularities don't affect it. These will remain installed until the scrub check in step 6 is complete. See our detailed instruction manual for more information on how to properly use our tools on some aluminum wheels. Step 3. Lateral axle offset check. When you unbox the RigRight, you may notice the 2 arms of the locking square are locked, placed in a linear overlapping position for shipping and storage. We call this the I position. This is the position which the locking square is to be installed for the first step of the process. Install the RigRight locking square with both the black steel arm and the silver aluminum arm upright and vertical on the right front axle end extender. Eyeball that it appears plumb. Next, install a frame standoff on the right frame rail directly above the axle. Measure from the standoff to the center of the locking square and record it. Repeat on the left side. Compare right and left. You want the difference to be ½ inch or less. That's a ¼ inch on either side of center. If you're within tolerance, move on. If not, adjust per the manufacturer's axle centering procedure and recheck. Then do the same check on the rear drive axles. Both axles need to be within tolerance before you proceed. If you made any adjustments here, remove the locking square, but leave the axle end extenders installed and go back to step 1 and let the suspension settle again before continuing. If no adjustment was made, you should now remove the locking square from the right side and set it aside for use on the steer axle later in step 7. Step 4. Thrust angle baseline measurement. With the locking square installed, black arm upright on the left rear axle extender, unlock the silver arm using the knob and rotate 90 degrees and lock into place so the silver arm is now horizontal, level, and parallel to the floor. We call this the T position. Next, place a frame standoff about 20 inches in front of the axle on the left frame rail at the same height as the silver arm. Place a second standoff about 20 inches behind the axle at the same height. Frame standoffs should be the same height and distance from the axle as the ends of the silver arm for the locking square for most accurate measurement. Measure from the rear standoff to the rear end of the locking square. Record it as your rear side reading in step 1 of the worksheet or on the web calculator. Measure from the front standoff to the front end of the locking square. Record it as your front side reading. Don't adjust anything yet. You need the runout pass first. Step 5. Runout compensation. Wheel, tire, and stud variations introduce small measurement errors we call runout. We eliminate that by rotating the wheel 180 degrees and measuring again. The worksheet or calculator averages both passes to give you a true misalignment number. Leave the frame standoff and end extenders in place. Remove the locking square. Mark the top of the left rear tire at 12 o'clock. Roll the truck forward until that mark is at 6 o'clock and re-chock the wheels. Reinstall the locking square in T position, upright and vertical. Verify level. Repeat both measurements. rear standoff to square, front standoff to square. Record these as your rear side reading and front side reading in step 2 of the worksheet or on the web calculator. Enter all 4 values into the worksheet and follow the steps, or enter the numbers into the web calculator at axletracalignmenttools.com/calculator. You'll get the recommended shim adjustment value, corrected for runout, and the exact shim size needed to bring the rear axle to the 0 thrust angle. A negative result means the axle is thrusting left. Positive means right. For eccentric concentric screw adjustment suspensions, rotate the adjustment until the front minus rear measurements from the standoff to the locking square are equal to or within 1/16 inch of the runout correction amount in box 3 of the worksheet, or as shown on the calculator. Remove the locking square and return to step 1. Drive the truck out and back into the 6 o'clock tire position. Reinstall the locking square upright and level and verify the rear minus front measurement remain equal to the runout correction amount. This equates to a thrust angle of plus minus 0.1 degrees. This is within the SAE J875 and strictest OEM parameters. For shim adjusted suspensions, make the recommended shim adjustment or removal per the truck manufacturer's procedure. Once shim adjustment is complete, remove the locking square and return to step 1. Drive the truck out and back into the original position with the tire mark back at the 6 o'clock position and allow the truck to settle. Reinstall the locking square upright and vertical. Verify that the front minus rear measurement is equal to or within 1/16 inch of the runout correction amount. This equates to a thrust angle of plus minus 0.1 degrees. This is within the SAE J87 and the strictest OEM parameters. Once verified, remove the locking square and set it aside for use on the steer axle later on in step 7. Step 6, scrub elimination, tandem axle matching. With all 4 end extenders installed, measure from pin to pin on the front left to rear left. Record it. Repeat this on the right side. Multiply that difference between the 2 sides by 0.38. That's your shim recommendation to correct scrub. On concentric adjusters, rotate until left and right are equal. At this point, you should, for the final time, return to step 1 and drive the truck out and back in, allowing the suspension to settle and verify equal pin-to-pin measurements on both sides. Step 7, steer axle toe measurement. For all steer axle steps, the tires need to be resting on low friction turn plates so the wheels rotate freely without loading the suspension. Turn plates are not included with RigRight. Commercial options work well, or shop-made solution of 2 smooth plastic sheets with a layer of grease between them does the job. Rotate the aluminum arm of the locking squares 180 degrees so the level can be easily read. Install the locking squares over the end extender on the left steer hub, this time in the downward position. Verify its level with the level on top. Repeat this on the right side. Now hook a tape measure to the notch of the end of the left square and stretch it under the truck across to the right, measuring behind the tires. Record that value. Repeat the measurement in front of the tires. Record it. Rear value minus front value equals your toe reading. Adjust per the manufacturer's tie rod procedure as needed. If you measure left to right or right to left, it doesn't matter, as long as you're consistent on both measurements. Step 8, caster measurement. Place a magnetic digital inclinometer on the outer surface of the black steel arm of the locking square on the left steer axle. Turn the steer wheel 20 degrees outward and zero the inclinometer. Turn the wheel 20 degrees inward and record that reading. That's your caster value for the left side. Repeat this on the right side. Industry standard caster for Class 8 trucks is typically 3 to 5 degrees positive. Check your manufacturer specifications. If left and right differ by more than half a degree, that can cause a pull. Adjust per manufacturer's procedures if needed. Step 9, camber measurement. Place a long flat object on the floor in front of the wheel being checked. Set the inclinometer on it and zero the meter. This corrects for any slope in your shop floor. Transfer the inclinometer now to the outer surface of the black steel arm of the locking square on the left steer axle. Record the camber reading. Repeat this on the right. Industry standard camber for Class 8 steer axles is typically 0 to 1 degree positive. On most Class 8 trucks, camber is not field adjustable. If you're seeing significant camber error, investigate kingpin wear or axle beam damage as the root cause. My dad spent his career in shops like this one. He built Axletrac because the problem needed solving and he had the skills to solve it. RigRight is the same thing, a mechanic's answer built for mechanics. It's analog, it's built to work, and if you ever have a question, you'll reach someone who knows this tool because our family made it. One purchase, years of use, no rack required. RigRight by Axletrac is offered as a semi-truck upgrade kit for existing customers, semi-truck kit, and complete fleet truck and trailer kit for new customers. Built in Southern Indiana, built for the people who keep America moving. See which of our 3 RigRight kits is best for you at axletracalignmenttools.com.